Hey everybody, just doing a little bit of a table update today. Really, this is just a peek at the next project. As you know, I'm working on that Mohawk diorama, but I've actually poured the water effects and I'm letting it cure for a number of days, and then I'll be putting some water effects for the top to show sort of movement in the river. But happy with the way the pour worked out. And I'll talk about that more in a future video when I'm showing sort of the completed project on that. But while I've been waiting for stuff to finish with that, I ended up puttying and priming my Crann Tara Rangers for the French Indian War. And so I think that I showed the greens on these from a photograph that was shared, you know, when these were being produced. But I don't believe that I've actually ever really shown the miniatures when I received them. At least I went back real quick. And although I've shown other things, I don't believe I've shown this. Now, I believe I bought sort of the leader and two packs, one being where they're advancing and when they're sort of firing, skirmishing. And so I just wanted to show these real quick, just the prime miniatures here. These are sort of the advancing ones, and so they are. There is definitely variety within the poses, and so I think there are a couple of doubles. Like I think these two and these two are the same, and then this one's different, and this one's probably actually the same as this one. So I think there's three varieties in the advancing, because I think I just have him turned enough that he actually looks like he's looking in a different direction. It's a different pose, but it's not. Then I'll just look. I do show there is a leader model here, so an officer, which is very cool. For either game, any of the games I play, it's good to have an officer, you know, for any kind of unit. And so that's great. And I believe this would be like an NCO or a secondary officer to kind of character. I don't remember if this came in with a firing pack or whether it was with this one together. I'd have to look at the website. It's been a little while since I've ordered it. And then lastly, we have the ones that are firing. And interestingly, I'm just going to move these out of the way here, the officers here. Interestingly, there's quite a bit of variety here in this particular pack. I'd have to go back and look at it, but there are two firing positions from standing, and then there's one, you know, kneeling and firing. And I think this one actually, I think, comes with the pack, and he's kneeling and just sort of waving people forward, which I really like that pose. But the thing that's nice is you have these other three poses in addition to those within this pack. You know, you have one that looks like is loading or cleaning out a barrel, you know, one, you know, that could be loading or readying the gun. And then another one that's sort of grabbing for something in his pouch. And so I find that that is really cool. And so you're really, among these, really getting a large number of different poses that are really characterful. And so I'll talk a little bit about what I'm planning to do, and in order to do that, I'm just going to move a photo I'm using just for a painting for research. I actually grabbed a couple of things just off the net just to look at what I might want to do, and I did a little bit of research. I'm interested if anybody else has any additional info just based on the knowledge. I know there are a lot of people that watch the channel that are interested in French Indian War, and so there may be some folks that can comment on this, but from what I actually read, or I should say from what I read, they actually didn't have full standard uniforms issued. I believe, because it's been a while since I read this, that it was definitely the coat that was issued to them, the green waistcoat or coat, and then also I believe a beret. I think those are the two things. But in any case, they mentioned that there was the suspicion that, a lot of native garb was sort of adapted over time as things got worn off and worn away, I should say. And we see oftentimes a variety for the pants, being whether they be green or cream color. I know that the hat likely changed over time, and I believe likely to more of a light infantry cap for, I believe, the American War of Independence, if I'm correct. But even with the beret, we see sometimes blue, sometimes green. My understanding is the blue is more of a Scottish hat, like with the red on the top. And so I've seen, really almost equally, like almost the same number of photos depicting the two. And then, the leggings also, usually green, but in this case even showing some with sort of a natural coloration, in there as well. And so I've decided that I'm going to go for a combination. I was thinking that I would have maybe some, because I've seen with the blue cap beret, and then some with the green, just to show a little variety in the unit. And then I think I'm going to do green leggings on all of them. And then I was thinking that I might do most of them with green pants, but then some of them with this sort of color here, like just this natural cloth color. And that'll probably be what I'll do, is just vary some of the hats and some of the pants, but then the coat green and the leggings green. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know what you guys think, but that's kind of like my plan going forward. From what I've looked at, I don't really think that would be wrong. I think that the level of information that we have, it seems to, in some ways, almost indicate, or the way they're depicted is sometimes more uniform than they probably were at times, from what I'm looking into. And so I don't really think I need to fuss too much over it. And so in this case, when you look at the leggings here, there definitely are bands that have that sort of native design in there. So I think they're trying to reflect, that adaptation there, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just going to start these up. Maybe pull it back out here and show the guys again. I'm going to start these, which I think are really, really cool miniatures. I'm really excited. One thing I've said in the past is when choosing Minden miniatures initially to do 7 Years' War, I always struggled a bit with thinking how I was going to get some of the really the very typical units that are in the French Indian War, like Rangers, like this. And I almost gave up on the thought that I was ever going to really be able to use those. And so when these were produced by Crann Tara, same sculptor and stuff, to support a French Indian War era, I was just over the moon, really. And to be honest, they couldn't have come out any better. I honestly think these are, what I kind of would have, anything I would have hoped for. And so awesome miniatures. I can't wait to see how they come out. I am on a French Indian War sort of kick right now. I have a lot to catch up on for French Indian War, before I go back and start doing some more Old Hammer stuff. I'm thinking that next, after this, I am going to try to do the colonial units. And so, not so much the militia, but the actual colonial regiments. And so I haven't decided. I kind of did a while ago and forgot already, but I'm going to research again and just pick a particular colony, and because they all had different sort of outfits, and then just go with that. And I'm really excited about that. Those miniatures look really nice as well. I think that's it. So really quick update today. That's what I'm working on, what's coming up next. And I hope everybody had a great weekend or is having one, the end of their weekend, and talk to you later.